My name is Nicole, and I will be presenting on Cindy Sherman. She's a photographer, and she's well known for kind of unusual type conceptual portraits. She takes photos of herself, and she has done this to build a name for one of the most respected photographers of the late 20th century. The majority of her photographs are not technically self-portraits, as you can see by this example. Rather, she uses herself as a vehicle for commentary on issues of the modern world. Usually the role of the woman is one of the main topics that she incorporates in her pieces. But she also does things of the role of the artist and other societal issues that were sprung about during this age. It is through these ambiguous photographs that Sherman has developed a distinct signature style. She did a variety of different series of works, as we'll get into later on. But again, she raised challenging and important questions about the role of women in society and how the media and the nature of her art has kind of just formed this view of women. So during the 1980s and early 1990s, she was part of what is known as the Pictures Generation. This is a loose circle of American artists who came to recognition during this time. And this time is notable for the rapid and widespread proliferation of mass media imagery. It's very interesting to see the type of artwork during this time because they really challenged notions of individuality and really exposed a lot of societal issues through exaggeration within the artwork. This video is just a quick demonstration of those people that were involved in the picture generation era. I kept it silent because they don't really talk about anything. I just wanted you to see some of the pictures that were involved, some of the main artists, as well as that they're still noteworthy today, that they're even placed in museums and exhibits. Many artists in this group were trained formally in traditional disciplines like painting and sculpture, but the way that they used their skills was unorthodox. They, re-examined composition and they tackled their artwork in a very unique way, and that's why they were grouped together. They really exposed issues regarding culture and mass media because during this time, photography and technology was really booming. So here's just a few examples of artwork during this time period. A few of the most influential artists. There was John Baldessari, and this is his artwork. Robert Longo, and this is a piece of his. And then, of course, Cindy Sherman. And this was also part of one of her earlier works, known as Untitled number 69. So she wasn't involved in the arts until college at the University College at Buffalo. Her parents were supportive, even though they both weren't into art. They had practical jobs, which was very interesting. But her mom, of course, was cautious and actually told her that while in school, she should take a few teaching classes just in case as like a plan B. So when she began school, she started off in painting classes, but then realized painting wasn't for her. She turned to photography toward the end of the 1970s to explore a wide range of common female social roles and personas because that was really at the topic that she wanted to convey in her artwork, and she just couldn't do that with painting. Here's a direct quote. There was nothing more to say through painting. I was meticulously copying other art, and then I realized I could just use a camera and put my time into an idea instead. So then she moved on and started to really focus on her photography. She met up with Robert Longo and Charles Clow and formed Tall Walls, which is very successful today. The top right picture is back then, and then the bottom left is what it looks like now. After graduation, she moved to New York City and began taking photos of herself, and she titled the series Untitled Film Stills, and this portrays B-movie actresses. So here are 3 of the main pictures, as well as you saw 2 of the other ones in previous slides. They're published pieces dating back to 1977, and can be found on her biography website at cindysherman.com. These photographs, people say are self-portraits, but they're really not. They use the elements of portraits, but she does something quite different here. She kind of doesn't use herself as an existence of herself. She plays a role. She's like a fabricated fictional archetypal type character, such as a housewife, a prostitute, a woman in distress, a dancer, an actress, things like this. And she plays characters within the scene of the photos, and she really like depersonalizes herself by naming all of them untitled, because she really doesn't want you to see her personality. She wants you to see a fictional one so that you can kind of interpret it your own way. She completed this within 3 years, and she finished it by just saying she ran out of cliches to work with, so then she published them. Next in her career, first she actually got rejected by a magazine because they said that her artwork was getting too gory and horrific and too sexual for the time. But this didn't stop her. So her next series was also known as Disasters and Fairy Tale series. It was shot from about 1985 until 1989, and they're very like grotesque. And you'll see like there's a lot of dark colors and very makeup, like a lot of makeup on her face, and it's just doing intent to explore like disgust and horror and grossness, but like find the beauty within that. This completely changes from her first series, as you can see, and these bizarre images really gave her a lot of attention in the media. They're lurid scenes consisting of like mannequin-like heads, with body parts, prosthetics, things like that, and they're arranged in like very unique and unspeakable ways, where like it kind of distorts everything, and it kind of makes a story within the picture, which I find very, very interesting. She has made such a big influence within the photography world, but also with film. As you can see, I named this the Cindy Sherman effect because that's really what it was. She was one of the most influential artists of her time period. So these are just some of the direct quotes that I found when people were talking about her. One woman said she was the trendsetter in terms of distorted characters within self-portraiture, but again, like she stepped out of photography and went into film, so she also influenced the film marketing industry as well. She was a step ahead of technology and explored the idea of fluidity of identity, and she nailed it in terms of just creating this persona and really stepping out of the more orthodox ways of photographing women. One huge example of her influence in the film industry is Ryan Trecartin. He was really known as Sidney on acid. He's very, very creepy, in my opinion. Rep Cindy calls him the 21st century inheritor of Sydney's legacy. He kind of puts all her gory photos into a film, basically. So this video is known as Center Jenny. It was dated back in 2013, and it's basically a group of young women and even some men in just wigs and jumpers and this like very like over the top makeup and eye contacts, and they're surrounded by quote unquote like witnesses to record the action, and they're all just trying to be the center of attention, and they're trying to like fight for the chance to be center of attention. I muted it because there's a lot of vulgar words, and the whole point is really to just see like you could see a lot of the comparison to the horrific photographs of Cindy Sherman back in the Disasters and Fairy Tales. So it's very amateur, his video, because it's during his class, and it's just very intriguing. Like you just see these wardrobe malfunctions, and you see these men kind of just explaining to these women like the materialistic version of them, and how humans were so much better off before them, and now they're cyborgs because of them, and it's very, very unorthodox. And you can see how Sidney Sherman was his main influence within this. So overall, as you can see, Cindy Sherman was one of the most influential photographers of her time period and still is today. She has done huge work in the film industry as well, but I just wanted to focus on the photography aspect because I really enjoy just looking through her untitled film stills and her disasters and fairy tales because they're so different, yet you can see the similarities within them, and the fact that she was the main character in all her photos really makes her unique.